I have always been interested in running for school board. Like, just the education has always been something that's really interested me, and that I've played a part in peripherally as a parent and as a PTO board member, working through other collaborative programs with the school district too. And then as this time came around, just understanding where we were as a district and where things were going. Thought about it, but then again, I'm pretty busy in life, and I was like, I think I'm gonna let other prepared and other equally capable individuals get on the board. When we ended up with only 2, that's when I realized, okay, then maybe this is time just to go ahead and just put my name out there. I wanted us to be able to have a competitive race too. I think it's really important that the entire city has options in terms of who is representing them on the school board and helping guide and support where our education goes as a district. I think with how the referendum went last year, I think that those that may have been interested thought, okay, we're past the upheaval or the significant changes that are required for the district to effectively and fiscally responsibly provide education for our kids. What the reality is, though, too, I think that people are busy, and so when you don't hear about something as often, it probably is likely the likelihood that people are like, okay, someone else is going to do it. And the individuals that I think that did get all the signatures so that they could be on the ballot, they have really, I think, focused positions that they're running on in terms of their campaign and why they want to be on the board. I don't think there was much of that going into the whole campaign preparation period and in getting the name on the ballot. What I think happened, similarly too, is that as there was more media coverage around where the district was and where things were going, and additionally seeing that there weren't enough people on the board, I think is what piqued the interest for others to jump in and say, well, this is an important cause, whether it's you're focusing on one thing specifically or broadly the district and its performance in terms of how it supports the education of our kids. It's important. And so we're seeing more people, for various reasons, come forward and show their interest and also their willingness, perhaps even a little bit of courage, to take on this role of being a board member for the school district. I think the referendum as it's currently posed is based on a sense of fairness and a sense of well-established information that is readily available to any of us if we wanted to go out and do that. What I appreciate as where the current board is right now is that there's still an openness to determining what the referendum really entails. It is a move in a direction that, unfortunately, the circumstances that we find ourselves have put us, both in terms of lower funding from the government, as well as, a decrease in student population. So with those in mind, there are things that we have to do. It would be similar to if at home we realize that the amount of money coming in is less than what our budgets are, we have to make hard decisions. And it's similar with our school district. We have to make some hard decisions. And the referendum as it's currently posed, it's a hard proposal. And I know it impacts a lot of people. The truth is, any referendum as it currently stands based on the information that we have at our fingertips is going to be a hard proposal. I think as we move forward, the referendum is just the start. And really whatever action would be taken, whether it was a referendum or some other decision that would happen in this near future, is just the start. There is a lot that would have to continue to happen post a bigger decision around potentially consolidation or, infrastructure, facilities or what have you. I think that is where the board can come in and play a role in supporting and guiding those decisions. One of the things that I would really like to see is a better partnership and relationship between the city and the district, really understanding the population dynamics in terms of like who's moving in and who's leaving the city, and our basically city limits. Partnering with the Chamber of Commerce as we think about the businesses that are coming into the city. How are we attracting more people to work here that have families already? Because we can't really just say, hey, everyone start having more kids, but really people are, and how do we attract those people into our city? And seeing better partnerships and collaboration. One thing that, so I'm a transplant to La Crosse. I've been here for 20 years. One of the first things that just struck me when I first moved here was this the collaboration that you see across the board. There was never an initiative that seemed to be just solo. It was one institution, one business that was doing it. There was always like a conglomerate of sometimes seemingly differing types of people coming to the table to make good things happen. That is what I think is required here and now, is that collaboration. What may seem like really different types of people or industries or businesses coming together to help solve this. And I think the school board is central to that. Will be the hub of ensuring like all the right people, all the key stakeholders that need to be there are at that table to help make really informed, innovative, but still likely hard decisions. Fortunately, in the past 2 decades that I've lived here, I've been able to be a part of different types of collaboration. So in one respect, I've partnered with Hamilton through my work to really establish a really amazing and cool mentoring program that brings individuals from a workplace into the school just to create those trusting adult relationships and seeing collaboration there. I am on the La Crosse Soup board as well, and that is nothing but collaboration. It's different people from different backgrounds coming together to focus on the common good. And I think those type of experiences, as well as many others, I do theater, I do some acting as well, and that is such a collaborative experience. You have people coming from differing backgrounds with different political views, different religious views, just different, everything's different, but able to come together to create something beautiful together. I think that mindset is something that I can bring, as well as my operational experience and leadership and management and business and managing multi-million-dollar budgets. All of that allows me to, I think, come in and bring a presence that is about collaboration and being willing to dive into challenging situations, to being willing to sit in tension and conflict as we figure things out together, to hear the hard stuff, to speak about the hard stuff, but to do it in a way that people know that they're being heard. So whether it's the parents, whether it's business and people that have a vested interest in where our schools are, how our schools are doing, and so forth. I think an important part of where our school district is going is to ensure that that it's where the district is going and what it is that we are doing for all of our kids. Every single person in our community should have a vested interest in the education of our children. And I think what those neighborhood schools have provided and do provide is a sense of continuity that allows kids to not only play with the kids that are in their neighborhood, but to learn with them too. And I think that provides a great experience. I also believe, though, that it is through exposure to kids from different parts of our community that will allow their growth beyond the curriculum to be something that supports them being the type of citizens, the type of people that we want to be our neighbors, that we want to be a part of our community in the future, and will help our community be the better version of itself. And so what I would propose is that we really come to the table with this mindset of whatever the decision is that we are making, that it's for the good of all of the kids. And I know that can be hard sometimes because we have a tendency to just focus on what's right in front of us. And sometimes that's where our attention needs to be. But if we can occasionally be able to look up and say, okay, this is impacting this group of kids this way, and what is the good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly of it. But then as we look up, it's like, what is the overall impact too? Not even just in the next 5 months, but maybe in the next 5 years or the next 50 years. And I think that's where the board is, that's one of the role the board has to play, is focusing not only on the short term, but the midterm as well as the long term, and to communicate all of that, and to also hear where people's concerns are at each of those intervals, so to speak. I think one of the biggest things for me is a sense of belonging, and that is across the board for our teachers, for our faculty, for administration, for parents, for family members at large, and for the students. That every single one of our spaces should be a space that as soon as you walk through the door, you know you belong. And by belonging, I mean that every individual knows that their voice is not only heard but valued, that their opinions and their thoughts and their experiences are valued and invited and welcomed. I think that is paramount, because when we have safe, like psychologically safe, so like safe and supportive schools, that lends itself to happier teachers, happier faculty, and happier students. And if you're happy and you feel content and you feel welcome, you feel like you belong, you're gonna be also more willing to learn. Like, you're gonna be more open to learning new things as far as our students. And same with our faculty and teachers. Like, if they know that they are heard and they're valued, they're gonna be more open to learn. They're gonna be more open to sharing ideas and helping drive change. Because the truth is, like, education, like any industry right now, it has to change. Like, things are changing so much. But where those ideas for change sit with the people that are probably most impacted. So it is some of the students, it is our teachers, it is our parents, and those that are so engaged in the education of our students. So yeah, belonging and safe and supportive environments is really key to me. And again, continuing to pursue those collaborative experiences for our students. Whether it is the things similar to the Healthcare Academy or the new Culinary Academy in partnership with Western, continuing to expand those so that our children have the ability to really learn what their education looks like in application, in real life. All of us, I think, at one point as students recall saying, when am I ever going to use this? And I think with these experiences, as we can continue to offer more of those and at varying levels, we'll show our kids yeah, this is when you get to use it. This is what it looks like to use that math you're learning, or those English skills and the grammar that you're learning, the sociology and psychology, how it looks like in real life, so to speak. So I think first and foremost, I'm a dad, I'm a parent. I have 3 daughters, and all of them have gone through the school district. Right now we have one in high school, one in middle school, and one in elementary school. And my experiences of the district, there are some things that I've loved, there are some things that I have not been super happy with, but overall, I think that experience has helped me be an informed parent, but also can help me be an informed board member. Additionally, I will say that some of my occupational experiences will lend itself well, and especially when it comes to some of those budgetary concerns. Some of my work in the past has been with dealing with tens of millions of dollars of budgets with expenses and revenue, and balancing that and ensuring that what it is that we're trying to do, we can do that in a way that is fiscally responsible. I think then what I would just offer next is a willingness to represent the entirety of our community. As a kid, I'm an Army brat, which means that my dad was stationed somewhere different every 1 to 3 years, which means by the time that I graduated, I had gone through 8 different schools in multiple different districts, and I was even homeschooled for a little while. So I have a really broad experience around education, and even though it was as a child, having an understanding of what it looks like to do things a little differently, what works, what doesn't work, and to really kind of then foster the creativity and the innovation that it's going to take for us to make really, hopefully, great decisions for our students and for the district as a whole. And then the last thing I'll say is I truly, truly, truly believe in collaboration. And I know I've mentioned that maybe a few times here, but a willingness to sit at the table on that board or in a cafe, or in a school, or on the street in the neighborhoods, to have those conversations about like, where are those pain points? What are those things that are giving us heartburn about where our education system is and where our district is wanting to go? But also to hear like what is going really, really well, and to ensure those stories are also being heard and being told. Because there is so much good that is happening in our district that sometimes I think we get distracted by the hard stuff. And so one of the things that I would offer as a board member too is a balance of holding both the hard and the good at the same time, the things that challenge us, but also the things that we should be celebrating. I'll just reiterate, our education of our students is so important and should be something that is important to every single person in our community. And with that said, I'll say please go out and vote. Your voice does matter, your vote does matter, and if at all possible, please write in my name. And there are other individuals that are writing candidates too, and I'll just say be informed, check them out, find out what else is going on there and what it is that they're bringing. But I'm hoping that you'll be willing to write down my name on April 2nd.